హాయ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ టు ఎవ్రీవన్. ఈరోజు వీడియో ప్రీవియస్ వీడియోకి కంటిన్యూషన్ అనమాట. వీడియోలోకి వెళ్ళిపోతే పాయింట్ నెంబర్ 5, ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ అండ్ మానిటరింగ్ ట్రాక్ వర్క్స్ యాజ్ ఫర్ ప్రీవియస్ కంటైన్డ్ ఇన్ JEE SSC p.way sectional shall carry out maintenance work as assigned to him by SSC p.way in charge. Point number 6. Coordination with works, bridge and staff of other departments. JEE SSC p.way sectional should keep close coordination with the works, bridge operating, signaling and electrical staff whenever they are required to work jointly. Point number 7. JEE SSC p.way sectional should work in the SSC p.way in charge office and assist the SSC p.way in charge as required. Point number 8. Training of p.way officials. JEE SSC p.way sectional shall be responsible for counseling of trackmen, gatemen, keymen, patrolmen and stationary watchmen for their specific duties, safety and protection rules at the appropriate stage, better maintenance practices, and also examine or check at frequent interval during routine trolley and other inspections. Point number 9. Action in case of emergencies as per the provisions contained. Point number 10. Action during extreme weather conditions. Point number 11. Inspection of ongoing works of construction and other organizations like RVNL, RITES, DF, CCIL, etc. are authorized agencies in the section as much as possible during footplate or trolley inspection to check quality of work and ensuring safety of the running trains. Point number 12. Upkeep of station yards. JEE SSC p.way sectional shall be responsible for clean lines of station yards. The materials should be stacked methodically in a TD manner. Point number 13. JEE SSC p.way sectional shall observe the track movement in yards, especially at turnouts, SEJs, glue joints and other fish-plated joints during passing of trains and shall take corrective measures to rectify the defects observed. Inspections schedule of SSC p.way in charge and JEE SSC p.way sectional. Point number 1. Footplate inspection. Note: items to be checked. Point number 1. Condition of track including track drainage, cuttings and formation. Specific items such as completeness and condition of fittings, greasing of ERC, toy load of ERC, soundness and squareness of PSC sleepers, creep in LWR track, etc. Point number 2. Attendance of gang work equipment, gang chart or diary, books with reference to prescribed schedule of track maintenance, counseling for safety and method of maintenance. Point number 3. Check to ensure that every man in the gang is aware of safety rules by examining them periodically at least once in 2 months. 4. Routine check and review of inspections done by his subordinates. Schedule of inspection. Routes having speed above 110 kilometers per hour and multiple line routes. SSC p.way in charge entire section including loops, lines and yards once in 3 months. JEE SSC p.way sectional entire section including loop lines and yards once in a fortnight. Other routes. SSC in charge entire section including loops, lines and adds once in a year. JEE sectional entire section including loop lines and adds once in 6 months. Note: in case of multiple lines running closely parallel, inspection of all the lines would be covered in one on-foot inspection, else separate on-foot inspection will be required for each group of such lines. Point number 2. Trolley inspection. Items which are required to be checked in on-foot inspection would also be checked in trolley inspection. Point number 1. Routes having speed above 110 km per hour and multiple line routes. SSC in charge independent push or motor trolley or accompanying ADN or DEN to cover once in 3 months. JEE sectional not defined. Note: all form of trolley inspection should be done under block protection. Point number 2. Other routes. SSC in charge entire section including loop lines and adds once in 2 months. JEE sectional entire section including loops, lines and adds once in a fortnight. Note: in case of multiple lines running closely parallel, inspection of all the lines would be covered in one trolley inspection, else separate trolley inspection will be required for each group of such lines. Point number 3. Loco or brake van or rear window. SSV in charge once in a fortnight. JEPV sectional once in a month. Level crossings. SSC in charge and JE sectional will inspect all level crossings once in a month by rotation. They should examine the gateman's knowledge of rules, check the equipment, track road approaches, and all other safety aspects. Point number 5. Cows. For cows greater than 2 degree, JE sectional shall inspect once in 6 months on rotation with SSC in charge. Point B. For cows less than or equals to 2 degree, JE sectional shall inspect once in a year. SSC in charge shall inspect the cows based on result of TRC or OMS footplate and inspection details of JE sectional. ఇక్కడ మీనింగ్ ఇచ్చాము. ఫోర్ట్ నైట్ అంటే 2 weeks, 2 వారాలు. Point number 6. Points and crossings. Passenger and running lines once in 3 months on rotation by SSC in charge and JE sectional. Other lines and add lines once in 6 months on the rotation by SSC in charge and JE sectional. LWR or SCJ once in fortnight during 2 hottest and 2 coldest months on rotation by SSC in charge and JE sectional. The hottest and coldest months are specified by the DN or senior DN. Otherwise, once in 2 months on rotation by SSC in charge and JE sectional. ఓకే ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఈ వీడియో ఎక్కడితో ఎండ్ చేస్తున్నాను. కంటిన్యూషన్ నెక్స్ట్ వీడియోలో చూద్దాము. అంతవరకు బాయ్.